One thing that is very crucial as women that we need to understand, whether women in technology and women in data as well, our voice is needed. Our opinion is needed. We also need to drive the technology industry, because you'll find that there are a lot of things that emanate from technology that do affect women. There are a lot of innovations that are being done for women, and we also need women being part of those innovations. Very excited to have all of you here, because this is proof that we do have smart women in tech, we do have smart women in data, and we do have women who are going to change the world in the technology.
A skills gap analysis, from where you are to where you want to get to, what are the gaps? I, at that stage, was an analyst, and I said, in future, I want to be an executive.
You want to just apply data science to the field that you're in. The hardest thing to do, I think, when it comes to data science is acquiring that domain knowledge. So data is the new currency. Data is the new oil, is the new gold. I was just fascinated by a lot of data that was there, and me being able to manipulate it and bringing out a result. Looking back, I didn't think I could do it when I began, but I jumped onto it and I learned how to do it. I communicated with people. I took the chance.
I'm excited, and I'm so happy that there's so many young girls who are interested in going the tech, creating loans on 3 different platforms, and one requirement was for everything to be under one system. So we're to bring all of those data sets into one.
Hi everybody, I'm Tapoana Chichwenga. I'm a data analyst, and we are at Data Wired. We are at a Data Tech event, and it's really interesting. You guys, you should come watch our next episodes and enjoy. For every woman in tech, it's a really great place to be. Bye.
Hi and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Sandra and this is Beyond TechSolutely. Today we are at Data Wired event, a place for women in data in Zimbabwe. Enjoy.
My name is Gwinitemba Sherilyn Maposa. I'm very proud to say that I am a data analyst. The reason why we have this event, DataXplore, exploration and growth for women in data. You find that when you try to progress in your career alone without a mentor, and you've got all information on the internet, online, but it doesn't necessarily get you where you want to go if you don't have somebody to guide you on the right way.
Our event, we're trying to empower women, we're trying to let women know more about data, we're trying to introduce women so that they know what is there about data and what they can do maybe when they're done with school, or maybe later on, maybe they want to change their career, or they're interested in something but they don't know how to transition from one point to another.
It says, according to a report by the World Economic Forum, women make up only 30% of the technology industry workforce in Africa. In Zimbabwe, it is estimated that women occupy only 20% of the technology industry jobs. So I always say mentorship, you're borrowing the experience from somebody who's walked the path that you want to go. So the women that are going to speak to us today are carefully selected, and they are specifically selected because these are women who've become trailblazers within the data industry. We've got some who are lecturers, we've got some who've even gone on to project management, and we've got some who've become lead data analysts and lead data scientists in their different places of work. So this just goes on to show that whatever path you want to take in data, whatever path you want to take in technology, you can do it, you can achieve it, because our speakers are a living test. This event, I encourage every single one of you ladies who are here, take advantage of the speakers that we have today. They are experts. Let them guide you. This is their time that you might not necessarily get every other day. Speaker you see today, make sure that, you, I don't want to say harass, but make sure you get the most that you can get from out of them. So for the next part of our program, we're going to be having different speakers coming to talk to us. So the speakers are going to be telling us about their journey, how they got to where they are, the challenges that they faced, and then later on we're going to have a panel discussion. So listen carefully, each story is different, but at the end of the day, each story got them to success.
I'm a professional director. I'm a certified professional director. I'm a certified project director, certified Scrum Master. agile practitioner, project management professional, mobile apps developer, Java developer. My degree, I got a high distinction degree. Mistakes are proof that you're trying. So when you see all these things, it means I was trying. There was a lot of trial and error. And then for the young ladies here, this is one truth. You're going to be usually the only woman in the room. For me, it started at university, second level. I went in and I was like, I'm going to take the difficult ones. The ladies, unfortunately, I don't know what it is. Most of them will take the easy subjects. Those things, because of the way we are made, there's a big difference in how we perceive things. So you doubt yourself really at almost every step of the way. But then I told myself what I was one of four. I think I deserve to be here. Affirmation is important. I can and I will. Right. Whatever the challenge is set in front of me, get to where you need to be. Plan your career. But not just your career is not independent of your life. Do you know that? So whatever choices you make in your life, make sure they are married to whatever career you need to do. Because there are sacrifices you need to make maybe in your personal life if you want your career to go. Or there are certain decisions you need to make in your life so that your career goes in the path that you need it to go. So ladies, don't ever be afraid to adjust because certain opportunities come your way. And you know what? Moving to project management for me has been the best decision. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Look for a support system. It's a good principle to work well with people. So that even if you go, you'll never know what life it will breathe into your future. So it's very, very important that we continue to build those relationships and we don't lose out on a big network. Say yes. There will be certain opportunities that will build you for your future. If you can, start doing those certifications. Since COVID, so many free certifications are out there. Take them. It's part of your preparation. So be ready. So when the opportunity comes, you're ready to, there it is. But always remember, ladies, be fearless. You can do it. Yes, you can. All right, that's it from me. Thank you so much.
After A-level, I wanted to become an architect and I applied all over, but I couldn't get an architect in. Until I landed a job as a sales representative in one of the cell phone companies in Harare. I was coerced to fill in the application form. I don't even remember what I wrote on the application form. Then I said, what are the things that I got? The lady called them out to me. I think it was mechatronics and some other program in IT. The easiest for me to say back to repeat was IT, and I just said IT. So for me, that's how I got knocked into IT. Some things happened by chance, and I landed being an IT student, and 4 years later, I graduated cum laude and the best student in IT. The university that I went to undergrad, which is Chino University, was also looking for someone to award a scholarship in data science. So when I applied, it coincided, and they already knew me as one of the best students, so they took me. And there, that's where I met one of the very key people in my life, who's my mentor today. So then landed a job as a data scientist, which was really fulfilling for me because I now then could apply the things that I had learned and the things that I was also teaching my students. From there, it has been ladder after ladder. Then I then got a job as a business analyst, as a data scientist, and I'm currently the lead data scientist at Deep Analytics, whereby we implement business intelligence solutions regionally in banks, in microfinance institutions, in the agricultural sector, and a whole lot of other fields. It's really a roller coaster. So don't get discouraged when things don't go your way. Don't get discouraged that I wanted to do this, I didn't do that. Like Solisa said, that you should always be able to recalibrate. And then another thing I want us to take away is pray. I believe that most of the things that I'm saying that happened by chance, I think they happened by chance, but I really believe that it's not really chance that made it happen that way. It was probably the Holy Spirit, it was God. And also when you're praying, you should pray for people who believe in you and take a chance on you. If you're someone who is in a place of influence, don't be afraid to take on someone who's starting. And if you're someone who's starting, be bold. Even if the job, you really see that they need 7 years experience and they've got 2 months, just apply, you just never know. Then also, when you get an opportunity, don't say no. I'm sure she said it. Say yes and then learn how to do it. I've done it a lot of times, and here I am. Internet is your friend. Everything that you need to know is already on the internet. So don't be afraid to take an opportunity, and once you get that opportunity, don't just sit down and say, I've arrived, I've got the opportunity. Run with it, own it, and take it by force. Learn everything there is to learn on that. If it means you're not going to sleep, if it means you're not going to go out, if it means you're going to carry on your social life, do that. So do not doubt yourself. There are a lot of people who are looking up to you. There are a lot of people who admire what you have. There are a lot of people who just pray to be where you are, and there you are busy with your head down and doubting yourself. Don't doubt yourself. Here is good, and you deserve everything that you're going to get. You deserve everything that you desire. So don't doubt yourself and doubt everything. Then the last thing, or the mantra that I run with, is Chinoya Chinona in. Whatever happens, I will show up and I will go there. And if it's going to be a bomb, it's not pay the run. So that's my parting words to you guys. That in whatever you do, Chinoya
Good to be here, and good to see you. See all lovely ladies interested in data or data. Bless you. And I'm here to tell you about my data science journey, which, by the way, before today I hadn't really thought about. You know, you go through life and you don't write anything down usually. You don't even see that you've done A, B, C, D. But here I am. Yeah, I've been in the tech field for a couple of years now. Professionally, I suppose, for probably 18 years. And this is where I started. Computers were not a non-entity in my childhood. I was so privileged to have a father who was into these things. I remember going to his office, going to his workplace a lot of times. I remember being in the server room, which I didn't know was a server room then. Now I know that it was a server room. It was the coldest room that I've ever been in. And did my undergrad in information systems, and for some reason project management and database systems were also things that stood out for me in that state. By this time, I was really working actually. So I then went on, and years later, and then did my master's in computer science. And then there was a topic in emerging technologies, and there was talk on big data, machine learning. Before then, yes, you would have heard about artificial intelligence, but it was never really specific. It was never really that specific. Maybe I wasn't really interested in it back then. But then I then went on and I then did my dissertation in soft code and predicting vulnerabilities in soft code using deep learning techniques. I'm like, okay, this is very interesting. This is what I want to do. I'm interested in getting this data and getting all of this stuff. So what can I actually find from this pool of code? I can actually develop this. Oh wow, okay, that's good. So from there, I was just like, yeah, I want to go into data science. I knew a bit more on it. It's like, I want to go into data science. And I was an IT technician for a long time. And I also realized when I was an IT technician that I was very good in Excel, and I definitely loved training it. So even at that, I was so young, super young, but I'll train the older folk, Excel. I became the data science lecturer because we then had programs that had data science. And so I became a data science lecturer at that particular course. And then, yes, a year or two later, I then became the chairperson for that particular department, the Department of Analytics and Informatics, which is where I am housed currently in that very same institution. So I haven't changed, very committed to that institution. And you realize from an academic perspective, it seems like a lot because there's a lot that you need to do. You just really have to prove yourself. You can't just do a certification and then it's fine. Yes, behind that, I did a number of other certifications. There are things like Sholisa was saying behind the scenes, a lot of things that are happening. I tried to go into networking because at the time, that was what was popular, networking. So this is what I think, in terms of advice, what I think I have to say when it comes to specifically data science, even though it might actually work in many other sectors. The questions, the two things that come to mind when someone is, when you're asked to advise someone who's becoming a data scientist, are you trying to change careers because you're probably already a professional in a certain area, because data science is applicable in many sectors. So yes, career change, naturally yes, will probably get. Do you want to just apply data science to the fields that you're already in, the domain that you're already in? Are you fresh from high school? So what exactly do you want to do? Do you want to do? So the advice will obviously depend on that. But then in a nutshell, we then just going to say, if you're already in some other type of career or doing something else, you're not into tech at all, you're probably in accounting and finance, you already have some type of domain expertise in there, you probably want to apply what you want. So the hardest thing to do, I think, when it comes to data science is acquiring that domain knowledge. That's really hard because I'm a tech girl, and my domain is really technical. It's still in computers, so I'm able to understand that. So if you ask me to deal with business, with finance data, I might just be, for the most part, I'm trying to understand what the data really means, and I don't really know. So it's very good. So if you come from a place where you already have some type of domain expertise and you want to learn data science, it's easier for you to do that than for me to come from this end, going on the other side. And so the other questions to ask is, there are these questions where the business analysts and data scientists and data scientists, analysts as well, where's the difference? You need to understand the difference there. Which we could go, as data scientists, we could actually be this, and then we have totally different views on that. But at the same time, there's some common places, common things that are there that will make us appreciate the differences. When you want to learn and you want to be in data science, you need to be intentional about what you want to learn. The field is very dynamic. IT in itself, the tech space is very dynamic in itself. So you need to be sure about what you want to do and actually be intentional about what you want to learn. And learn it, really. When it comes to data science itself, the science behind, whenever you're talking about science, you are definitely going to do a lot of math. You're definitely going to do a lot of statistics. So you need to love it. It's amazing. Women just don't love to get into these things. It's hard, but it's not really. I mean, you can see us, you can touch us and feel us. We are human beings. We are here. I'm relatable. I'm here. We can do. So it shouldn't be a thing. You're able to so there must be something. Like Nando was saying, she had to go for extra lessons. Just that one. It was just a term. She went once for those lessons, and then she change from a U to an A. So maybe it's the teacher. That's it. Maybe it's your environment. Maybe it's whatever. But you have to love these things. It has to make sense. If you're going to go extra, in Mazaba, there's so many resources available. Guys, internet. As for the analyst roles, you need to be a people person. You need to have good communication skills. My soft skills I am, because you're interacting with people. You want people to they're giving you their problems, their business problems and everything, and you want to change their data and make their data, turn their data into something tangible, money-wise. That's what people are going to pay you for. But data is the new currency. Data is the new oil, is the new gold. Those are popular sayings. So you have to understand what you're going to be doing and how you're going to be doing that, because you're transforming data into money for most of these businesses. But I will also say, in this field, in this space that I'm in, the academia space, you get older, obviously, you start getting more responsibilities, you get married, some get married, have children, and then the space becomes bigger. So how are you going to be balancing that? Those are critical issues. You actually probably break up with a very lovely gentleman at the time because maybe you could not commit as much, or he thought you couldn't commit as much because maybe you're spending 3/4 of your time at work or things like that. That happens. People think that you already know everything. And for me, people think there's so much I still need to know in data science, and I appreciate these sessions, but people already come to you expecting all of the solutions that are available, that are there. And for me, it's actually a challenge because I'm like, it's a good challenge because yes, when they come to me and they don't want to expect the answer right there and then, I can go ahead and research and do my thing. But sometimes you are asked in the moment and you're thinking, guys, do you know what this really means? Like, I'm not that person. Like I said, in academia, intelligence is really measured through degrees. You get it? So it's difficult. You're gonna say, but guys, I know these things. So I still have to do that degree. I still have to do that master's. I still have to be doing my PhD. Set clear boundaries. I learned that very late. Clear boundaries. Because if they're not there, then you're going to find yourself overworking and trying to over-impress and everything. That's taxing. Again, I learned that very late, but it's very taxing. Rest when you need to. Even if you have a deadline that is 2 hours away, if you cannot concentrate and do the most, you are not going to do anything. So you'd rather sleep for another hour and then find 30 minutes that are very productive. So when you need to rest, rest. And then team effort. You can't be a data analyst, data scientist without even thinking that you're going to work as a team. You can't even be in tech generally or thinking that you're going to be working as a team. You need to do that. And if you're a leader, you need to learn to delegate accordingly. Again, I also learned that a bit late, but we'll still try it. If you're a leader, you need to be able to delegate. Yeah, let's do this. So yeah, thank you for your time, guys.
I'm the last person standing between you and your refreshment, so I promise you it will be worth it. And I'll make it short. So I was telling you that I'm going to share my testimony, which is a testimony of my technology journey. I finished high school in 2006. In high school, I got 8 points, and I love sharing this with people because people think if you get something below 10 points, you're nothing. Here's someone who got 8 points. So I applied to NUST and I looked at the list like she said and I was like, I don't know what all these things are, banking and finance, medical, tech. I was like, I don't know. But I had done maths at A level, even though it was just 8 points. I then just said, let me just write maths. And I just put maths, right? So I started my maths degree not knowing what I was doing. There were so many guys in our class and like, was it you who said, guys just have a way, and the guys in this room, you can confirm, they just have a way of saying, they make it look easy, but I would fail, I would get below 40% in class. People tell you have to aim for a distinction. If not a distinction, get a 2-1. I'm standing in front of you and I've got a 2-2 degree class, guys. So don't let your grades define you. Yes, it's great to have good grades if you can, but grades don't define who you are. And I got a job. The one good thing is God has always blessed me with jobs. I was in this job for 5 years. We used to work with farmers. I've been to Gokwe, Mount Darwin, Bindura, Gurule, Magunde, because we used to work with farmers. And I'd be there in the field with those Varimi, writing their names. I used to keep an Excel file of a list of Varimi. So I'd write, could say, okay, Mary Ningi Ningi took a loan for soya beans, and I'd have that Excel list. Then I'd go to the field and travel and see these farmers. And I worked at this job for 5 years. But everything I did well. If I tell you at that job, I was one of the youngest. But everyone who needed help in Excel, they say, ask her. So I used to do filing and write lists of farmers, but I did it so well. And that's a lesson for you. Whatever you do it well. I applied to over 300 jobs. Eventually, I came across a job on CV People online. Internet is your friend, like Miranda said. And Econet was looking for a data scientist. Who was it again who said, even if they say they want 7 years and you've got 2 months, Miranda said it. They wanted a data scientist. All I had was my maths degree, which I repeated, and so already I felt useless, right? I didn't feel like I was a real maths graduate. I just thought, I just have it. But I applied and Econet called me for an interview. I went for 3 interviews. In the interview, I'm asked, have you ever built a model? No. Do you know logistic regression? No. Have you used R or Python? No. The interviewer looked at me like, young lady, what are you doing here? But then I realized, no, I have to tell them the truth. So at the end of the interview, I said, ma'am, she was this strict white lady. She wasn't even smiling. And I said, ma'am, I'm from Zim. You know how things are in Zim. I haven't had the opportunity. Yeah, I've got a maths degree, but I've been working with farmers. But if you teach me and train me, I'm so eager to learn. I've Googled what data science is. I'm really eager. She just looked at me and said, okay, thank you, we'll get back to you. And I was like, long story short, I had gotten about 50%, but everyone else, those master's people, had gotten below 50%, and they hired me, and my boss said later on, I hired you because of your hunger to learn. And she trained me from scratch, and she started to train me, what is data, how do you use it, etc., etc. So it goes to buttress what the other lady said, to say, take a chance on someone. I now take a chance on people who know nothing, because I remember. Long story short, I then got promoted to a data scientist while I was at Econet. So first I was a data analyst. So when remember I said the job was for a data scientist, the lady then said, she's not qualified for a scientist, so let's give her analyst. Goes to what Leslie was saying, please know the differences between, what are these data terms? So there's a difference between an analyst and a scientist, and I worked my way to be promoted to a data scientist. This only happened in 2021, yet I had applied for a data science post in 2018. So I took that time to now work on my skills and build myself to become that data scientist. How did I do this? I started Googling, what are people doing? How do people become data scientists? And I got advice from guys in my team. Again, I'm always the only female. The guys in my team said, do these Microsoft certifications. So I chose the Microsoft certification. I could have done the analyst one because I was an analyst, but I chose the higher one, and I became a Microsoft certified data scientist. I also am a technical writer. I write articles online, on LinkedIn, on Medium. There's an article I have about what is the difference between data science, data analysis. You can check it out on Medium. And then I went to Silicon Valley last year. Best time of my life. But I went in 2022. I had started applying in 2012. So again, when people see your journey and they're like, gosh, she's so lucky, she went to Silicon Valley. I had been applying since 2012, receiving those emails. You know those ones, we regret to inform you. When you look at things like this, people don't see the journey behind, but this is where it came from. And I end my testimony by saying there is no success without failure. So get comfortable with failure. This is now me 2022. That same girl struggling with fees, selling jiggies, eating salsa is now at Google, Facebook, Apple. This was such an amazing experience. And I'll just say the Tech Women program looks for ladies who have 2 years experience. If you have 2 years work experience, please apply. I'll help you with the application. We want more of you to go to Silicon Valley. It's that simple. All you need is 2 years experience. Have a career development plan or path. When I was a data analyst, I then said, okay, what next steps do I need to take? I need to be a data scientist next. For me to get there, what do I need? Guys, if I had not mapped this out in my head, I'd still be stuck at a data analyst because I wouldn't have something to look forward to. But I mapped out that, okay, I did this graph or this picture in 2018. I mapped out that, okay, by 2021, I want to be a data scientist. So because I had this in my head, I was like, okay, what do I need to change me from an analyst to a scientist? A skills gap analysis, from where you are to where you want to get to. What are the gaps? I, at that stage, was an analyst, and I said, in future, I want to be an exec. To be an exec, I need these skills. Do I currently have them? Yes or no when I put a tick, right? So I'm very intentional about mapping out how I move forward. And for me, this was key when I was trying to get from analyst to scientist. I was like, okay, as an analyst, you need to know data scrubbing, exploration, feature engineering. We can have a session on what these things are another time. But for a data scientist, you need to add machine learning, you need to add natural language processing, you need to add. So for me to become this, I need to now work on these skills. So what are you now? What do you want to be? What things do you need to work on to get to there? Here, I'll let you take a picture because I've spoken too much. But why I will let you take a picture is because my other sisters here have already said all these things. These were my closing tips to you, and I think they were all mentioned in some of the other presentations. So please just take a picture. But if there's anything you remember from today, it should be this. Pick an interest, learn as much as you can, and practice, practice, practice. People who are experts, they have 20, 30 years experience, and you want to come as a Gen Y or Gen Z millennial and be like, I've been in the workforce for 6 months, and you still have a long way to go. Being an expert takes years. Some people want it to happen, some wish it would happen, others make it happen. Be the person who makes it happen. Thank you.
By then the US they changed some regulations on how to manage risk in the financial sector, specifically banks. So there was this CISO project we were working on, and we were trying to build our models as a bank so that we meet the requirements of the government. And that meant that we had to consolidate our data sets. Old National Bank was creating loans on 3 different platforms, and one requirement was for everything to be under one system. So we bring all those data sets into one. We went with third parties, like vendors, who provide like extra services like building software and stuff to support all that we were doing. So it was quite a very interesting project, and it was really big. And I think that's one project that boosted me and equipped me for, or maybe like helped me level up when it comes to data analytics. Then after being with Old National Bank, I came to Zimbabwe, and then I joined IA Securities. Don't ask me why I came back. I get that a lot. Anywho, I came back. I joined IA Securities. It's a stockbroking firm, basically analyzing companies listed on the Zimbabwe Stock Exchange. So we analyze that data. And then I think one thing I love about this job is that, by the way, it's a very small team, it's a very small company. In contrast to Old National Bank. Old National Bank was really big. Like it had like, I don't know how many branches. Our finance department, we were 500. So it was a really big organization. Now, the downside of working for a big company, for me at least, there are pros and cons, but the cons were, like one of the cons was that you are kind of like put in a silo. If your job is to query data, you clean it, you manipulate it, and then probably once it's clean, sometimes you are not even like going to build any dashboard. You pass it on to the next person with that. Sometimes you are fortunate to just like you are asked maybe project graph or whatever. You pass it on to the next person. You don't make any business decision based on that data. You sometimes you wouldn't even know how that data is used to make a decision. So that was the major downside that came with working for a big company.
What can I do? It's better out there, it's not better here. And I was so frustrated because I was feeling like, okay, it could be at hand. Now I've missed an opportunity which I could have actually want to become someone bigger or something. So when I came back, I was in a bit of a state that wasn't very nice. And I was also now confused because having been exposed to finance, I was now thinking maybe I can pursue CFA, I can pursue being an investment analyst instead of data. But then I knew that the data is something that I've always loved. But then what I then decided to do was, okay, I'll just apply for any opportunity I see is relevant to me in terms of my work experience and the exposure that I've gotten. So that's when I started applying, and fortunately I got a job with Collect Analytics. So it was also in data. So at Collect, what we were doing was we were analyzing data for FMCG companies. So we had Bonwache, OK, Spa, Food World, Mega, etc. So the data, they can't be analyzed as separate entities, because when you buy Mazoe, you find that you have Mazoe at Spa, you also have Mazoe at Bonwache. But the brand Mazoe, they want to know how are our brands performing in the different supermarkets. Our customers were the brands, not the supermarkets. So it was really a very interesting model for me at the time, and we're excited. We were like analyzing a lot of data, but it was still in Excel. We would clean it in Excel, then we upload it into the database, which was really nice.
So
a couple of communities to join. We've got Girls in Tech Zimbabwe. So their main mandate is to empower women in STEM. We also have Data Science Zimbabwe. The main mandate for Data Science Zimbabwe is to promote professional learning and development in data science. We also have Computer Society of Zimbabwe. This one has been in the industry for a long while, but they do have a chapter for their students. They also have a chapter for graduates, a chapter for young professionals as well. And they recently launched a Women in ICT chapter. So that's also a great platform for you guys to say, you know what, I'm a woman, I'm in tech, I exist, see me. And we also have Women Tech Makers Harare, which is a subset of Google's Women Tech Makers. So they also have events. They actually have an event in the coming 2 weeks, I believe, where you can also attend, find out more about what they're doing. We also have what we call Zingi Africa. So what they do is they've got a platform where you can learn, get skills on data science, but the best part about it is you can compete for money. So there's usually ongoing hackathons that are there. You can even score yourself $1,000. And then I will end with Beyond TechSolutely. I would also encourage the ladies here, please do. There's a link for the YouTube channel. Follow the YouTube channel, and you can also learn a couple of things about tech. They do interviews with different people in tech in different industries. They showcase different products as well, and you can find out more about the tech situation in Zim, what's going on within the tech industry in Zim. So with that, I continue to encourage you, join communities, grow, network.